Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. It is Tuesday night. It's time for the baddest show for Alabama content on YouTube and the entire globe. The Bama Standard is back. Before we get started, go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Live chat, do your thing tonight. If you're watching the replay, show us some love there. As always, we are brought to you by Workspace Solutions. If your business needs a digital presence or a full-fledged marketing team, these are the guys who need to be coaching up your team. Find them today at workspacepros.com. With me is always the undefeated, undisputed king of comedy and the star of the show, the Steve Brown.
Man, let me tell you something, man. I'm happy to be back, but on top of that, I know that you guys miss me. I got so much fan mail and emails, and somebody even sent me a pigeon. So I know that I've been missed, and I come back to a little bit of disappointment, and I may as well say it now. I thought maybe when I came back, Marvin would be gone. Thought he would have quit, but he's here. But we're gonna continue on.
That wasn't fan mail. That was restraining orders in the restaurant.
Man. And the guy just above him is a 1999 All-SEC linebacker. And when Ric Flair said to be the man, woo, you got to beat the man, he is that man, Marvin Constant.
Yo.
Yeah, with the PlayStation headset on. Okay.
Better than the ones you stole off that Southwest flight.
Oh, my God. Why you put my business in the street, Marvin?
It's envy, star envy, Steve. You know how it goes. But listen, we got a bad dude on this panel tonight. He is in the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame, an NFL veteran. He taught Lawrence Taylor how to lay that wood down. He's the host of the Miller's Edge. Ladies and gentlemen, back again, Corey, Pastor of Pain, Miller.
I brought fire. What's up, boys? I brought fire, the remote control behind me. I got the fireplace going. The wife is babysitting. And Justin hit me up, said, hey, bro, come on. So I got the remote control fire tonight. It's on.
Let's do it.
We're going to have some lives change tonight. Hey. Some people may recommit their lives. That's what we're here for.
I mean, yeah, give your life to the Lord. Hey, what's on your bed right there, bro? But you got the price tag?
No, man, it's authentic right here. Right.
Don't let him fool you. That's that Bucky sticker. He got that from the truck stop.
What you gonna do? I've seen this game before. You don't take the tag off, and you're gonna get tired of it. You're gonna walk right in the store and try to trade that hat for a new one. I know what you're doing.
No, sir. I'll never get tired of the Tide. Never.
Next time he need $10 on Pump 5, he gonna take that hat back, and $2 of it gonna come from returning that hat.
Hey, man, well, you know what, man? I see. Is this the welcome back I get? Is this?
Where you been, bro? Where you been?
Man, I've been working, man, auditioning, doing all this stuff, man, and you know, trying to get my OnlyFans page up, all that. So I'm back now, man. Just trying to, be back with my brothers, man. And this is what I get. But I'm happy to be here, regardless.
Have you been on Club Shay Shay yet? Every other comedian's on Club Shay Shay.
Right.
So
hey, man.
You want to get right? I can put you in. I can get you.
Hey,
got some kind of lies you can tell on somebody, or
exactly, because if I go on Club Shay Shay, this whole podcast getting shut down. So let's. I'm gonna stay away from. I'm gonna stay away from Club Shay Shay. I got to protect my brother. People don't need to know Marvin. People don't need to know Marvin walk around with no bottoms on, huh?
Said Tat Lawson seems to think so. He thinks you're the greatest ever that ever lived.
Yes. Thank you, Chad. I appreciate it. I paid him to do that, right?
And then he says, Steve, how you let Marvin out roast you when you used to be the roast god at Central and Stillman?
Hey, man, I still am, man. But sometimes you gotta give the special needs people their their attention. Hey, man, so what we got going today, man? What's going on?
Hey, first of all, I'm going to let Pastor Payne here talk to everybody in the audience about his show. That is, if you're living under a rock and you don't know about it, you need to definitely tune in after this show. Get subscribed to what he's got going. Corey, if you would, let the folks know about the Miller's Edge.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. We been doing a little different thing. We got 2 hours now on the Tide 100.9, 12 to 2 Central Time, 1 to 3 Eastern Time. They bumped us up. Folks were asking for it, so it's been good. We've been doing a little YouTube live, Christian controls, all of that. So just go to Miller's Edge. Everything is the Miller's Edge. We hadn't done a whole lot lately, at night, just because it's kind of been a little bit slow. But I got something, man. I was thinking about this today, Justin,
And
and
a word.
I'm gonna drop it because it's like God's, like I just been reading about Moses in Exodus, right? And God spoke to him, and we said, "Go tell that Pharaoh to let my people go." So sometimes you hear this word, and this word is about college football, and I think it's just about the people, the fans, everybody, the experts now. It's like we soft. You can't question. You can't have an opinion. I just been sitting here thinking, what happened to football?
Oh my God.
What has happened to football? And I went back and I just started kind of to revisit my little town of Pageland, South Carolina, 2,800 people playing tackle the man with the football in the field and loving the game. And you would have played it for free. You talk about the sanctuary of the game, the locker room, all that's gone. People got the phones and videos, putting stuff out. I mean, what has happened to football? So that's going to be my next thing, man. It's just like, where is the love, the real passion that we grew up loving, right? And it's missing, man. It's freaking missing.
You know why it's missing? They start wearing man bags and pants that show their ankles, man. Okay, listen, it ain't that deep, all right? Be a man. Man up. Be a man.
Hey, man, everybody's trying to incorporate everything that's not football into football. That is one of the biggest issues. Keep football simple. I understand we're trying to make it a little bit safe, but a little bit more safe. But now it's like football is become like the NFL now, especially college football. I always love college football over pro football, period, because these kids had something to really play for. The education, the school pride, their coaches, their friends. Now it's like we're infiltrating the kids and we're corrupting them, because now they're not playing for the love of the game anymore or for their brother in the locker room. They're playing for money now. And so it's become, team has become individualized. Everybody's just looking out for self. And that's what's really destroying college football. Because again, I say I like college football a lot better than I love pros, man, because the kids were really playing for something. They had, you know what I'm saying? There was a lot more passion. And now people are getting Las Vegas into it and all this other stuff, man, and it's ruining it. It really is. So that's a great question. What happened to football? Yeah. I love it.
I think you put together a panel, right? And just have some good discussion and just to gauge people's heart, right? I mean, because this game, bro, gave me an opportunity to do some things in life that I would have never had a chance to do. Right. And you had to work to get it. You had to work your tail off to survive the hood. You had to work your tail off to stay out of trouble and not sell drugs or smoking weed. You had to work your tail off to get the academics when you really weren't that smart. I didn't have parents that could read a book and teach you the proper words to go make up 700 back in the day on the SAT so you could become eligible. All of these things I started thinking about. And you finally get there and you appreciate it, and then you get your scholarship and you get drafted and you live that and you appreciate it, right? It's like like these folk don't get it. And then what bothers me too is then I hear people talk about this game that I love and respect so much, like anybody just could do it. What happened to like the 1%, right? 99% of people can't do it. Right. And then people talk about it like as if like, oh, they just could do this thing. I'm like, and I'll sit there and listen to them. Like I had a caller that he actually told me fans are more important than the athletes.
Yep. It's crazy.
Wait,
And
what?
you know what? And the thing is, and to somebody like you and Marvin, who literally played the game and went through blood, sweat, and tears and all types of emotional ups and downs, that is an absolute insult for them to say the fans are more important. And it's, to me, man, it's just really absurd and crazy, man. I don't like it at all. I just don't like the way it's going. So you can write a book on that.
You remember the show that used to come on called Pros versus Joes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I wish they would bring that back for those people who run their mouth to say stuff like this. Because we're going to send you out there to tackle Derrick Henry or somebody says,
Oh, my God.
The fans are more important.
But you know
we're going to send you out there to go check and cover, one of these top wide receivers, since anybody can do this.
But you know, Marvin, but you know something, one thing I always say, and this is about my profession. God has blessed y'all to do something you actually love. Do you know how many people go out there to a job they absolutely hate? They can be making a whole lot more money than us, but they hate their job. Me, I love my job, and I can tell by like the way some of the kids play, or even the pros, they really love what they do. And now with all this other extra crap they're throwing into football, is now being underappreciated. Like you said, anybody think they can do it, and you can't. Yeah. You just can't.
And then he hit me with this one. He goes, "Yeah, and me and my boys, we know the game because we got a chat room."
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, of course.
Right. He was trying to tell me when I was talking about a 4-2-5, right? We talking about Womack and this new defense from South Alabama and how that's going to translate with Alabama, blah blah blah. And bro, he was saying like, hey, we talk about this in our chat room, me and my boys, and and I'm just sitting there going, I'm baffled. I mean, because I want to give the call of respect, but then I had to just tell him, bro, I was like, listen, man, you never played the game. I get it, you love it. I don't want to be that guy to you. But what you trying to tell me, you never played, but yet you're going to tell me what's right with this defense and this, that, and the third, and what this guy's doing and that doing and coverage. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, is this where we are? Is this where we are to the place where I get it. You don't have to play football to understand it. I get that part of it. But when you think you know more than a dude that's put his whole life on the line and done this thing with Hall of Famers and some of the best ever, you know this better than I do, then I'm going to have a problem with it, right? And so this is kind of like, I just been sitting there thinking after the show today because, I kind of went off. And I just like told him because I'm like, I take this thing serious. I am a purist, right? I am a purist because I know what I had to go through to make it. Wow. And I know the time that I put into this game. And I know I studied it, I coached it, I played it, you name it, right? To tackle the man with the football in the field, in a little dirt field with a bunch of snakes. I get it, right? So, but I dare you try to tell me something like, bro, like you have no clue. Do you know about them 5:30 a.m.? They knocking on the door, bro, get you up in the winter to go do them mat drills. Do you know about having to lift twice? No. Like, do you know about having to get down here in short yardage and goal line, bro? Bro, y'all don't even have a clue. I'm trying to tell this guy. Like, you don't have a clue, dude. Yes, sir.
One thing that they ain't never been in the hospital having to take multiple IVs from locking up in August. Listen, a lot of them talk about this and act like this is something. This is not easy by no means. No, if you think this is so easy, please go out there and do it. Because here's the thing about it. And he's talking about coverages. Okay, let me see you line up having to cover a slot receiver, Cedric Wilson, Dante Stallworth, and once they go in motion, that you got to change that whole coverage, and you still responsible for your assignment. Okay, it's easy, right?
Yeah, but the thing is, man. One thing about me, like I said, I tried to play the high school football. I wasn't nearly as good as y'all. Nearly pine route. I ain't even lie to you, but just the love of the game, man, and just you learn something about it every day. You can never stop learning about this game. And people, they see stuff, and that's why I get really tickled when I see people hollering at the screen when they're playing the couch quarterback,
couch coaches,
they don't know anything about coverages. They don't know anything why they don't know anything about why the quarterback went to a certain route or a certain receiver or whatever. They all they want to see is a touchdown or somebody get hit. They don't know none of the principles or anything, and it's just a lot to learn, man. So for people to say what they say, they really need to be put in that situation, and then they'll
bring
shut the hell
back
up.
Pros versus Joes.
Pros versus Joes.
We can do that on A Day if you like, actually.
Oh, well,
I'm for
Jimmy's here. Jimmy
Clay.
Here.
Hey, folks, the man, Jimmy Clay, $20 coming our way. Put it in the offering plate. Roll Tide, go Team 28. Showing some support for that women's softball team. Man, they got some players on the team. But yeah, it's funny how these folks who have a basic working knowledge of how the game is played try to water down everything you did. They might have a paper knowledge where they see in their little chat rooms and in their little podcast. They got 1,000 followers now, so obviously they're legit. But the game within the game, the game behind what's going on in the field is something they're missing completely.
Hey, Justin.
Mark, yes.
You want me to sum it up real easily for them?
Yeah, I would love for you to sum it up.
For all y'all who think it's easy to just walk out there, just remember this. When I played, I benched 525, squatted 650, and power clean 405. So if you think you were just going to go out there and do whatever you wanted to do to grown men with those type of numbers, you better stay on your PlayStation because it ain't safe out there.
Nah.
Well, I will say this to sum this up. I don't know what y'all see, but I've been really looking at some things and seeing the transfer portal open up and this and that for a couple of people. And I'm going to tell you right off, Bama going to be damn good this year. Trust me when I tell you, Bama's going to be good this year. Bama's going to be dangerous.
Now, like how good? I mean, where are you going with good? What's good?
Bama's going to be
because 8-4 is good. 8-4 is good.
No, they're going more than 8-4 now.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying what's
Bama. Don't be. Well, I'm sure they're gonna make the college football play. Don't be surprised if Bama win the SEC again. Trust me, Bama still has a lot of studs. Our fan base was spoiled when we see a couple of people leave. We think, oh, it's over, it's a wrap. But every time somebody transfers, that's the same old song at Bama. I've noticed that for years.
I will say this. I've been through a coaching
and the coaches are good too.
I've been through a coaching change before, and the coach who they brought in was supposed to be good. And his second season, he did win 10 games, but that first season, it wasn't the best of season. And we were 1 year removed from an SEC championship. So a lot of times when you have that change in philosophy with that new coach coming in, it takes time because the guys have to not only learn that system, they have to buy in. And as hard as it may sound, not everybody buys in originally. Exactly. Some people are skeptical and I got to see what happened. And it does impact that team chemistry in that locker room environment. So a lot of times you'll see a coach say, well, when I get my guys in, after he's had a chance to have that second and third recruiting class to say, okay, now you can hold me accountable for what this team does because I've been playing with someone else's players. Because the coach is going to recruit players based upon his playbook, guys that fit his scheme. So to say, now I've got to run my scheme with somebody else's kids, I need some leeway because these ain't the guys that I would have recruited to run this same scheme.
Well, I think they got the guys to run, Kalen DeBoer's scheme better than what he had at Washington. To be honest with you, because
exactly.
I mean, the only real question mark, and I know people might, get mad for me saying this, but will be what's going to happen at the quarterback position, right? Because when you look at Washington, when you look at Alabama, those two teams from 2023, the biggest question to me, you got two heavily skilled quarterbacks, but skilled in different ways. Jalen Milroe, his thing is deep ball and running the football, right? Michael Penix Jr. he was throwing darts, right? Quick passing game, lefty ball out the hand. That's why they didn't give up a lot of sacks. He didn't hold the ball. Jalen holds the ball a little bit too long. So you got two differences there. But let me just play devil advocate with you, Steve. Because
hold on one second.
Okay.
I want you to add this into your answer, though.
Okay.
Is his system going to translate to SEC ball as well?
That's where I'm going. Because here's the thing. I try to look at the whole pie, and everybody gives me the record. I'm just going to, for the record, and I ain't been on the standard for a while, but let me just tell you, I can appreciate NAIA, but I ain't giving you no credit for that. NAIA, I was a chaplain at Allen University, just right down the street. I think y'all had a young man that coaches there right now. I think I watched. I was over there with Teddy for a couple of years.
He's at Clark now.
He's at Clark in Atlanta. Everything is not the same, by the way. And people say, oh, it's NAIA. No, it isn't. You should have seen the field. We didn't even have a field to play on. The field that we practiced on had the holes on. I mean, I was scared for it. Ain't the same. So I know he went crazy in NAIA. And guess what? So did I at Pop Warner in Columbia, South Carolina. My record is impeccable. But that don't mean I can go do Coach Pac-12 or SEC undefeated. Okay, I'm just saying. Now, 25-3 at Washington, I'm giving them love for that because it's still Power 5 football. And Oregon being there, beating Texas, quality wins. I like Kalen DeBoer as a coach. But I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan of the Pac-12. And I don't know if he can bring that same deal here in the SEC. People are disrespecting the SEC by thinking you just going to show up and you're going to just, these numbers just going to translate. I mean, I watch football Pac-12 at night every single Saturday.
Yeah, I ain't like it.
And I saw them struggle
arena football
numerous times struggling to win ball games at the end. Yeah, that Washington team could have easily lost 5 or 6 games that I watched.
But let me throw this in.
Okay.
He has that system, but he also has the SEC players, the best of the best SEC players.
But
hold
on, Steve. Though here's one thing I love racing. I watch racing.
I don't like racing.
Now, the reason why I pick racing,
racing,
because I can give you the best analogy ever. You could take a track car and win all day, but the moment you try to put it on the street and it's too much power, you're going to get the doors blowed off you. You could take a street car to the track, and that street car won't put up enough power to keep up with the track cars. Just because it works in one environment doesn't mean it'll work in all environments. So that's all I'm saying. I'm curious to see.
Well, hold on. So what you're saying is, if he is a smart coach, which I don't think I think he is going to. I think he's going to translate his system to the SEC. He has no choice. Okay, but then again, he's a really good play caller. And the thing is, you got those same horses. Do you think, y'all tell me this, if he had the players from Bama on his team and they played Michigan in the national championship, they would have won that game. They were just outmanned with Michigan. They were just outmanned.
So you're saying his coaching staff was better than Alabama's coaching staff? Because we lost to that same Michigan team.
I don't think it's better at all. I think as far as developing
the players, the quality of players.
But the same players that you're referencing played against Michigan and lost.
I think Washington was more sound offensively than what our coordinators were. So I think there would have been a distinct advantage there.
We made major mistakes defensively. Caleb Downs, a 4th and 2. All you gotta do is make the stop, cover your guy in the flat. That he had, that was his man. Game over. Alabama plays for the national championship. So that they weren't far from being there. Here's my point, though, guys. I mean, Dylan Johnson, who I know extremely well from Greenville, Mississippi. When he was a basically free agent, was going to come to South Carolina. South Carolina couldn't pay him the $200,000 that Washington paid him to get him out there. Okay, I know that to be fact. So their running game is okay. That running game, I don't know, works in the SEC. I'm just trying to. I like our backs. I love our backs.
Our backs are amazing.
But I don't know that specific running game is going to work in this conference. I don't know. I mean, listen, there's a lot of questions. All right. We got 2 tackles that need to be replaced. Huge positions. Caden Proctor gone. J.C. Latham gone. Who's going to replace those guys? That's huge to me. Who's going to replace those bookends? Dallas Turner and Chris Bradswell. That's huge to me. You're going to bring in a new defensive coordinator with a 4-2-5. What is going to be the scheme? Is it going to be more zone? We know Nick Saban played a lot of match zone, a lot of cover 7, all of that stuff. They made a lot of mistakes, which I think was bad. I think that needs to be simplified. I think it needs to be more aggressive, right? Because I don't think we have the dogs up front on the defensive line to create havoc, right? I think Alabama has a lot of question marks, man. And for folks just to say they're gonna be good. When I'm sitting there looking at this roster, I'm like, bro, I mean, you got two first, maybe second round corners gone. You got the best safety, one of the best safeties in college football gone. You got to replace all of that. Two great outside book edge rushers gone. Two tackles gone. You got your best receiver gone. I mean, and so I get the A, but brother, this team is not so built right now that it can throw that A on the field and win. This is my problem with year number one.
Well, that's
you
why,
know what?
and that's why I said year two, once he starts getting more guys in that are more adapt to his scheme. Year three, I have zero expectations for year one. I got none.
I have high expectations. I really do. I got high expectations, man. Y'all can say what you want, and I understand. And I'm leaning towards y'all because y'all the experts. Y'all been on the field. Y'all know this. Y'all seen it firsthand. But from what he's got, like he just got the guy from Michigan, the DB from Michigan, and and just other people are coming. So I don't know if they're dogs, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? But I think we're gonna be all right.
I mean, what's his name? Stab?
Keon Sabb, and possibly Will Johnson might be coming.
Yeah, I heard Will Johnson's name, and Will Johnson actually is a starter. He's a cornerback, I believe. He's a really good.
Yeah,
the other guy was a backup, but started 4 games, played in the national championship. Good football. They got to get. You got
the corner from USC. He came.
Kamani Jackson.
But here's the problem with all that. You can talk about the corners, the safeties all day. I've always talked to y'all about Alabama front. Alabama's front has not been right since we lost Quentin Williams and that crew right there.
3 years.
I agree.
That front has not been right since. Nobody can cover all day. So until we address that front, we in trouble.
Well, that's because your guy Pete Golden. There was a huge regression. And I think he even handcuffed Freddie Roach as well. But you start to see the tide turn just a little bit under Kevin Steele, but now Kevin Steele is gone, so it's kind of back to square one.
So, Mr. Miller, what do you think about this 4-2-5?
It's nickel defense. I mean, so here's my problem with it. Can you stop the run with this 4-2-5? Right. And the thing is, you better have 4 studs up front. Then the way Bama plays, what I mentioned, Braswell and Dallas Turner, these are outside linebackers.
Right.
They were recruited to be really 3-4 outside backers. Like my son Christian, the exact same position. They're not defensive ends. They're linebackers. Right. So if you're going to put linebackers at end, right? Here's what offense coordinators go, and they go, oh, you're gonna get those guys out here? Well, we're gonna run trap. We're gonna trap you all day long. We're gonna make them close and spill. We're gonna make that safety spur, whatever you call him, which takes the place of a Sam back, outside backer that comes in the 4-2-5. He's got to come in. We got guys pulling. He's gonna take blocks on. We coming at you. I don't know if you can stop the run with this defense. And the fact that you don't have Quentin Williams, you don't have them dudes that Sean Robinsons, them guys that we used to have that got drafted in the first round. Bama hadn't had those guys in years. I tell Chris this all the time. This is the problem. Where has Bama been the weakest? Go back to Auburn. Go back to Auburn running the football on them. Go back to what Jane Daniels did to them. Go back even at the quarterback run. I know those broken down plays, but it don't matter. Listen, man. Alabama got to go find some D linemen.
Hold on.
And if you want to run with them dudes, Jaheim Otis and Tim Smith and Keenan, they're decent players, but they're not showing us, bro.
But hold on 1 second, Steve. Hold on. Okay. Here's a major problem that most people are not identifying or realizing here. In a 4-2-5 defense, most of the time, your 2 backers, they got to be able to run. So they're smaller linebackers that can cover space. So if we don't have a D-line that can hold up and we got smaller linebackers, we finna get it ran down our throat. And not only that, we have 5 DBs, so we're missing a linebacker. So if you don't have those 4 horses up front, you in trouble.
In trouble, bro.
You are in big trouble running a 4-2-5. Because again, if you can't control the line of scrimmage with those 2 smaller linebackers and 5 DBs, man, those guards and tackles gonna pull all day, get up on them, creating creases. And
I'm running traps at you.
all
I'm
day
running
long.
OFs. I'm looping the guards. I'm doing things to make these guys do something where they're not comfortable.
Okay, so okay, I heard
that's what I was trying to tell my guys today. It's like, yeah, it sounds good, right? And it sounds good, but if you don't have 4 dudes, bro, listen, any defensive coordinator would tell you this. The best in the world would say, I would like to play zone, and I like to have it where I ain't got to bring pressure. I ain't got to dog means I add an extra linebacker to the rush, right? Blitz when we got 6. But the thing is, like, if I got 4 dudes just can go get it, I can sit back and drop 7. And I can play football all day long. But if I don't have them dudes, it's a long day. And we've seen this. I don't see nobody on Alabama roster right now. Right now, the ones that are coming back that have played, the one I just named, love them, but they're not those dudes, Ashawn and them linemen that we've seen go in the first. They're not those guys. They're solid players. But, man, they don't have those. They don't exist.
So
and they have missed the boat.
So what's the upside?
The upside is where they're going to have to take a lot of chances, meaning they're going to be doing a lot of slants. So what you got to do, you don't have dogs up front. You're going to be doing a lot of movement, right? Predetermined movement, pre-snap movements. You're going to be slanting your defensive linemen, getting them in the C gaps. You're going to run some games, even running some loops in the run game.
A lot of pressure.
You're going to have to bring those undersized linebackers Marvin was talking about because they're not big enough to engage and get off blocks. So what you got to do, you got to bring them. Now when you do that, you know what you're susceptible to?
The drag route, the dig route. They wide open.
I mean, it's like I'm interested if I could sit down with Kane Womack right now, I'd be like, bro, what's your mindset? What are you thinking? Because this is not South Alabama. Bro, you can't be in a nickel defense with 323. They gonna pound you, right? And so my whole thing is if you can't get off the field, I don't care what your offense is, the best defense, let us stop the run, make that offense stay over there, right? And make the offense stay off the field, right? And they're gonna have problems, man. That's what I'm saying. Show me the dudes.
And you know
I'm
what?
just being honest.
You know what
he stopped, but he stopped a lot of people with their defense in South Alabama.
That's South Alabama.
No, but he played some better teams and still stopped them.
I'll give you one scenario. If somebody's running the 4-2-5 as an OC, I'm gonna run all types of post corners to hold those safeties because again, I know those 2 small linebackers got to step up to respect that play action pass, and all I'm gonna do is throw the drag route behind them every time, 10 to 12 yards downfield, wide open.
Route. They call it the
dig route.
All right, the pin up.
Got a good question here from Van Edwards. Is it who we were recruiting, or is it lack of development?
Both. All of the above with A and B. Listen, I'm a Roach fan, and I think Roach is a tenacious recruiter.
Yes,
I think he's great. I will not classify him as a great developer of talent.
I said the same thing.
I'm trying to tell you, brother, that I just what I've seen with my own eyes when it comes to teaching, pass rushing,
the D-line,
anything like that from them guys we're talking about, I haven't seen it.
Yes,
I've seen it with my own eyes. And if I was there, I would have been saying, if I had the ability to, I would have been like, bro, I can show these guys 2 or 3 things right now and make them better.
Here.
I mean, I did not see that. I think he was a must keep as a coach, but they need to get better. If you watch them play, if you watch them take on blocks and getting off blocks and their gap integrity and everything we watched the last 2 years, it wasn't good.
Okay, so Mr. Miller, I've said this before, and it's like I said, I love the way he recruits and everything. He is a linebacker. Why is he not a linebackers coach and you get a D-line coaching? Y'all heard me say this on the show before. Why is he not coaching line? Because he's a hell of a linebacker.
He don't know what he's doing the D front. That somebody just got that quote. I'm sitting here looking at it right now. That's your answer. That would have been your answer. I mean, look at Texas last year, what they did to our offensive line.
Yeah.
But you look at who they had at defensive tackle too. That 6'4", 335 pounder, grown man sitting there.
But who was that? But who was that D-line coach?
Bo Davis.
Damn
Bo
right.
Davis. And
Damn
that
right.
kind of opens
But
up.
We
we
let
don't
him go to
have-
LSU now, right? He's at LSU now, right?
Yeah, but we don't have
Yeah.
any of those 6'4", 6'5", 335-pound defensive tackles that can hold up. We don't have those two gappers.
Nope. Listen, when I brought my son here, man, one thing I was just really enthralled with was a defensive front. And I looked at them big butts. I call them big butts, man. and listen, those jokers, they can two gap, which means they can play both gaps, lock out. They got the A, they play the A and the B gap. They didn't get moved. And when those D linemen, Marvin, I can tell you, playing off the ball, when those D linemen is clogging things up and using some turn technique and different things, it allows the linebackers, those fast dudes now, can get in those gaps and go blow up people.
And get over the top.
Problem is, if you go back and watch Bama last year, the last 2-3 years, watch the movement of the defensive line. Watch how they get knocked back.
Right.
And I'm gonna say this right here.
I'm looking back to see if my butt big.
Now you got a
ahead.
little butt. You got
Go
yeah,
ahead.
a little
All
bit.
right, go ahead. I was just
You have
But-
been the scout
skips
team
leg day.
water boy.
I felt like Bama's team wasn't as strong as it's been in the past. I don't know if it was just me, but I didn't see that pop. I felt like the weight room wasn't their friend the last couple of years. That's my opinion. I don't know. I
Scott
mean, them
Cochran on the way
dudes
back.
used to be, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But man,
They chose science over powerlifting.
Science?
Scott
Science.
Cochran on the way back.
Well,
Scott Cochran on the way. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it takes all to come together, for a positive product. But here's the issue. We're going to have to get those 6'4", 6'5", 335, 340-pound defensive tackles. We're going to need about 4 of those because you can't play those guys the whole game because they're going to be tired. If you're going to need to keep those guys fresh. So we're going to need a solid 4, maybe 5-man rotation at those 2 defensive tackles.
But
in order
Marvin,
for
where
the
they at
defense
though,
to
man?
work.
I mean, my thing is, where are they? Do they exist
Yeah.
anymore?
Hey, but one thing I'm gonna say this. But did y'all see now? Texas D line manhandled our O line, but they couldn't do it against Washington. Did y'all notice that? Washington ran the ball
That's
and
true.
they did everything they against Texas, against the Bo Davis coach Texas D line.
But Washington's offensive line was one of the better in the country too.
They
though.
were the best one in the country. They won the Joe
Yeah.
Moore Award.
Oh, okay. Well,
I want to get to this.
let me get back to looking at my butt. Then go ahead.
I
But
want to
they
get
were
to this.
undersized. Now here's the thing. Washington's scheme was more of zone scheme. And that's the thing, too, you got to understand. Like, offensive line, there's a man scheme, mano a mano, where they're going to try to drive block you, knock you off the ball. But I feel like they block more zone, more space, right? I mean, that's why they're undersized. I mean, look at that center. I mean, that center looks like a linebacker.
Yep.
Because they use them pulling. They run stretch zones with Dylan Johnson, things like that. If you're not disciplined in when you're running integrity, you're gonna get in trouble. But they didn't knock people off the ball. Basically, they just put a body between a body and try to create gaps. And they did a really good job of that. And that's the other thing. What's our run scheme going to be here at Alabama? Because, last year we kept saying our linemen need to lose weight. They're too big. They can't move. Right. And if you run in that type of run game and talking about blocking zone, when you got, I love Roberts, probably my favorite. You got the center, Brailsford, whatever his name is.
Brailsford.
Yeah. And then you got 65, what's the name at the guard? So your inside guys are good. But what you going to do at the tackle? You're going to go small? You're going to go undersized? You're going to get guys that can move, got good feet? I mean, Caden Proctor couldn't move his feet. He got beat like a drum. He couldn't pass protect. And that's a lot on Tommy Rees, too, by the way. The coaching was the first 6-8 games weren't good at all. Tommy Rees made a huge mess. I mean, he hurt Jalen. He hurt Caden Proctor, asked them to do things that they couldn't do. So I don't know, man. I listen. I'm not with you on the Bama going to be great next year. I got them at 9-3.
You do?
That may be good enough to get them to the playoff, depending on where they're seated.
I got them at 9-3. I think the early game at Wisconsin is going to be a problem.
I do too.
On the road, yeah.
On the road, and I think they lose to Georgia. I think they lose too early, and they're going to lose either to Tennessee or LSU on the road. One of them games is going to drop.
And if they don't,
got Oklahoma on the road too, right?
Oklahoma on the road, but 9-3. But I'm just saying, it could be 8-4.
I don't have any.
Don't forget about Missouri.
No
right.
expectations.
They're bringing back everybody
going into this season. But the one thing I just want to see progress made from week 1 to week 12. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Because we have to build that foundation for the, year 2, year 3. So again, I have zero expectations. I just want to see how we build and become a better team throughout the season.
I gave him a built-in pass, and people laughed at me today when I tweeted this because I'm like, you're number 1. You coming behind the GOAT, bro. You lost some key players. You lost coaches, right? You lost coaches that everybody expect to be in T-Town. They're not there. Your offensive coordinator and Grubb, you lost your Joe Moore award-winning offensive line coach, which is the biggest problem that we had last year as a group, position group, gone. You lost Inge just yesterday, right? Came from Washington.
You lost who?
Inge, I think his name went to Tennessee.
Yeah, William Inge went to Tennessee, linebackers coach.
Oh, wow.
You just lost him. So you lost 3 guys. Kalen DeBoer lost 3 of his coaches. His coaches, gone. They ain't ever coached one down. Right? So my whole thing is I'm building up this, whatever it is. I think it'll be decent. But my thing is give him a pass. Let him get his guys. Let him figure things out. Let him get used to the Southeast. Let him get used to the SEC. Because they're going to have losses, I think, that we're not even anticipating. Like Missouri.
You know what? I stand to be corrected because you know what? I will say this. Sometimes as a human being, you act on emotions, then you act in logic. And y'all talking logic, so I'm gonna go with the logic because every time you act in emotion, you lose. Look how many losses Marvin's taken in his life. Go ahead.
Whatever, sir. But I kid you not. What everything, again, it's been facts. And like I said, man, I'm going to stick to this until I see differently. The middle of our defense is going to be a problem until we get those 2 horses in there. And I can tell you from experience, when you're lined up behind a guy who's getting blown off the ball and he's pushed back 2-3 yards and you can't get to your gap, it is straight chaos on that field.
So you don't see any potential there with Jihad Campbell and Deontay Lawson?
I ain't saying that, but what I am saying is based upon what I've seen in the past, it's different playing in the defense they've been playing in versus playing in that 4-2-5 with those smaller backers. They're going to have to play lights out up front. There's no room for error with smaller linebackers playing behind them because you can't tell me teams in the SEC, the Georgias, they're going to line up and run the ball first and foremost.
True. I do want to get to this next topic. And for those of you who are expecting sunshine pumping, you may want to go to a different podcast because we're going to avoid all that. But before I get to that, I want to remind everybody that the season really never has to end. Support the Crimson Tide by getting your title towel. Go to whitwellsports.com today. If you enter in the promo code STANDARD, you get you a nice little discount. So right now, well, actually, after the show some support to the Bama Standard and grab your title towel. So let's talk more specifically about the coaches themselves. We saw that comment earlier about Bo Davis, and we should have emptied the clip for him. And as Bama fans, we've come accustomed to home run hires like Kirby Smart, Jamie Pruitt, Bo. They've spoiled us, right? Problem is, as soon as you get those guys, they're leaving. And then these programs are going to hire them away immediately. And it's more of a business transaction for the coaches who do come in. They're looking at it as, you know what, I'm going to come here for a year, boost my resume. I have every intent not being here the next year. So what's the remedy? We go for the home run hires, but then we run the risk of losing them the next season. How we fix that?
I think number one, as the AD, I think you need to really value your hires. That's number one, to keep them in place. Number two, I feel like some of these people are leaving because you got to understand it's pressure being a part of the Alabama coaching staff. That's automatic pressure because now, Alabama is one of those schools that's gonna always have a target on their back, and you're gonna have to come in with perfection because we got a crazy fan base, and and honestly, our fan base is really not too realistic. We want a national championship right now, tomorrow. We're not trying to trust the process and build like Marvin said, and take time and get to where we need to be. We want it right now. And that's a lot of pressure on coaches. So again, I think the AD need to really value, or whoever making that call, and keep these coaches where in place, so we can grow with them and let them groom the kids.
I don't think Grubb wanted to come anyway. I think Grubb wanted the Seattle job, to be honest with you. I mean, the Washington job, when he left, he didn't get it. So there's a reason why maybe Alabama did not release these coaching hires. Remember, it took so long. They just released a couple more today. Listen, I'm never mad at a coach. I'm not mad at Grubb for taking an offensive coordinator job in the National Football League. I ain't mad at him. He's getting to stay home. You know, he's married to a sister. She ain't want to come down south and fool with y'all. I mean, so people like, I already know what happened, bro. Because I'm like, when they talk somebody like, oh yeah, he's married to a black girl. I said, so? They're like, wait a minute. She in Seattle, which is a free state. I mean, Washington is like free. The Pacific Northwest. I mean, you see everything.
Hey man, let me tell you something. Cool. I don't mean to cut you off.
Come down to Tuscaloosa.
I don't mean to cut you off, Mr. Miller. Listen, I've worked in Seattle, Washington, and all over Washington. Every nationality in the world is in Washington D.C. And we.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm telling you, man. You know, Samoans, everybody, and it's a mixing pot. Everybody, they it's like you really don't see any of this stuff you see in the South. Everybody.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think it's.
I married a Samoan for 3 days.
3 days. Did you learn how to do the haka dance? Can we see that?
No, I mean, listen, I ain't mad at him though, bro. You got to take that opportunity. I don't know about the whole 30-day thing that the Seattle Times was talking about. I ain't buying that. They put that thing on hold, but I think it's the right move for him. And then you bring, Huff along with you. To me, that's the biggest loss because, the fact that Alabama's offensive line has been so bad, especially last year. I think we finished 133 out of 130 something, 5, whatever it was, as far as protecting the passer. I mean, it was horrible. It was horrific. 40-something sacks. And then the guy that won the Joe Moore Award coaching the unit gone. So that's a huge loss to me. I don't know the guy. I know he's been around. I looked like a lot of people. I looked at the Wikipedia, the new offensive line coach, Cap. I think that's his name.
Kapilovic, yeah.
And listen, I'm not saying he can't be a good coach. He probably is a good coach. I don't know if that's – I don't know. I mean, when you got a guy that's got like 18,000 moves – I mean, like, if you look at his resume, bro, it's like page 1. Oh, that's another page? I mean, bro.
What do you mean? He's like moving from school to school to school?
He practically every year.
Every year, man. I mean, he was in North Carolina for a few years and then Michigan State. He was at Colorado, then followed Mel Tucker from Alabama. He bounced around, man. He's been everywhere. So I'm like, why does dude move so much? Right? No more than 3 or 4 years. Right, so that makes me a little nervous. So, listen, man. Now this offense that I'm going to be honest with you, I had hope for. When Grubb was coming, when Huff was coming, I was like, okay, Kalen DeBoer's offense. Yeah, you got the receiver coach. He's fire. He's Jamarcus Shepard. He's good. Okay, I'm good with the offense. I've always had concern about the defense. Now, I have a lot of worry with this offense. I mean, I'm sorry, bro. You're not going to tell me Nick Sheridan. Nick Sheridan? Bro, he got fired. He got fired from Indiana. I mean, you can say what you want to. Well, Penix got hurt and blah, blah. Listen, man, the man got fired. Okay? This is Kalen DeBoer for being bad. So this is Kalen DeBoer's guy. Listen, I know in the coaching business, boys take care of their boys. And sometimes coaches get themselves in trouble because they go hire their boys knowing that they're not the best option for the job. This happens a lot, right? And then you go say to the media, you says the right things. But, bro, it's Nick Sheridan. You can't go find somebody to be the offensive coordinator at the university. Let me to the back of the church. The University of Alabama. Nick Sheridan is the best that you can do. Please, man.
So
you want to tell me
he's the new offensive coordinator?
Yes.
Co-offensive coordinator with Jamarcus Shepard.
Who is that?
The wide receivers coach.
Did you say who is that?
Hey man, no, I know he was a receivers coach. I'm finna go.
Listen,
I mean, you're right, Corey. I look at a guy like Garrett Riley, who we should have targeted last year and threw the bank at. He's now at Clemson.
You got all the money. I mean, Nick Sheridan. Come on, and the people get mad at me when I say this. I'm like, are you actually listening to what I'm saying? Y'all hired Nick Sheridan as your offensive coordinator at the University of Alabama. If this is the best that you can do.
Is he that?
Hey, we hired Pete.
I'm sorry, bro.
Is he that bad?
Do what everybody, all the podcasts, and just go print their Wikipedia page. And then, he coached so-and-so, and so if he coached so-and-so and so, then that must be good, right? So it's like, no. I'm just saying, you go from that, bro, to having two coaches that I've respected, Grubb and Huff, to Nick Sheridan and Jamarcus Shepard, who is a good motivator, good wide receivers coach, but he ain't a coordinator. He's not a coordinator. Now you got Chris Cap. I mean, like this. Then, and I asked the question yesterday, guys. What grade would you give the offense to the coaches? I gave them a C-.
Oh God.
I gave the coaching staff a C-.
You know what I noticed?
People on the radio show was giving them an A-.
Yeah.
A-.
And the fact that you're having to do this in the SEC.
I listen. Listen. I don't give a piss.
I'm not trying to change your mind, Steve.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide.
Me, I don't give a piss about nothing but
and this is real being real, Corey.
Every week. That's not going to change. But the fact of the matter is, these coaches are walking into a situation where you had a high turnover in players hitting the portal. You're introducing a new scheme. And you have a lot of things that are working against you right now in terms of your coaching staff. The coaching staff with that turnover, I guarantee you, it's made a lot of guys say, I should have got in the portal. So you got a lot of guys second guessing themselves right now, too.
No.
But yes, you do. No.
Hold on. You got guys that regret.
Hold on. You got guys sitting there now who thought that they were going to play for Grubb or somebody else. Because all these guys are worried about is their future, Steve. They're not worried about the here and now. They're worried about how do I get to the NFL. So when you bring in coaches that they don't feel like can get them to that next level, it instills doubt in them. I'm just telling you, I've been there. It instills doubt in them.
But there are guys in the port that left and want to come back. Look at the one at Texas. He having problems over there at Texas already. So I get what you're saying, but I'm still.
Who was that, Barn? A non-block.
The Auburn hero. Yeah, he had it.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Justin.
I feel like it's a payday loan hire. To be honest with you, you get payday loans because you're in a sense of desperation. You try and find some kind of stability. All of a sudden, boom, you get this payday loan offer in the mail. You get it and you cash it in. It takes care of your immediate need, but you really don't know what's behind the stipulations. Whereas here, we're just trying to get a staff going. We got to have some kind of stability to try to keep these guys here. But in the long run, is that what we really need?
Well, again, at the end of the day, most coaches, you got to give them 2 to 3 years to get their system in place, get their guys in. That's what I was saying earlier. So, again, that's why I say I don't have, any expectations going into the season. Whatever happens, happens. Because I know it takes that year 2, year 3 for most coaches to get to that level of success that they truly desire once they move into a new program. That's all I'm saying. I've been through coaching changes before. I've seen it firsthand.
Let's just bring Saban back. Damn.
Well, he's back. I mean, he was speaking last night. I don't know if you guys heard him speaking last night. He's going to supposedly be meeting with Kane Womack at his office this week. So I'm hoping Kane picks his brain. Now, here's the thing about the defense. And Chris and I get in an argument with this. I think Nick Saban was a little bit overly complicated with his defense, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it cost him games like last year, 2 years ago, Tennessee and LSU. Many times we saw bunch packages or people shifting and motioning to bunch and guys standing around looking and trying to figure out who's got what or how many games did we see that under
A lot.
the leadership of Nick Saban? And we saw it a lot, way too much, right? We saw it just last year in the Rose Bowl, or this year, I should say, against Michigan, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did Michigan do? They created bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then the back goes out in the flat. Caleb Downs loses him, and he runs for 20-something. I mean, not just a first down on 4th and 2. I mean, that's the game. So my thing is this. If I'm Kane Womack, I'm sitting down with Nick Saban, and I'm saying, listen, this is what I want to do. And I'm getting into his ear about different things because I think
3-4.
I think you can marry it. Here's the thing. It's going to be hard to run the 3-4 because the reality is most teams are running 11 personnel, which means 1 back, 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, right? That means you run nickel. That means you do run a 4-2-5, which is why I think Kane Womack's base defense is just nickel because probably everybody in their division ran some variation of that, right? So what you try to do as a defense, you try to match personnel. Right, that's why you're always looking to see who's coming in and out because you want to get the exact personnel in the game so that you can match up. You want big on big, fast on fast. I mean, that's just the way things work. But he needs to sit with Nick and figure. Because here's what I would do, right? I would look at the personnel that I got first, and Kalen DeBoer has said that he just said this with Ryan Fowler earlier about building an offense that fits the personnel, which I hope that's what he does because that's what you're supposed to do. So I look at my defense. If you look at Alabama, what they got right now on the roster, right? What defense best suits who they have? Now we talked about the D line. I mean, is that your strong suit?
No. A
All right.
3-4, probably.
Is your edge guy, outside linebackers, your strong suit?
Might be.
Could be, but we know they got 4 or 5 stars that never played. Keeley, guys that we have never seen.
But also to that point, if you don't have those 2 dogs in the middle to command that double team, they're going to constantly be chipped on the outside. So that takes that away.
So what is the strong suit of the defense? Can anybody tell me?
Me and you, Mr. Miller, let's go on out there. Let's go.
I mean, and I'm looking at the defensive position group, and they're telling me on air and everywhere else on X how they're going to win 11 and go 11. What is the strong suit of any on the defense?
We have to see it. Can you give us an answer to your question?
I mean, you would have to say middle backer, right? Because you got Jaheed Campbell and Dawson coming back, but those 2 veteran players. But other than that, I mean, we can say, well, we got the guy from Michigan, and we might get this guy, and then, well, what we got? We don't know what we got.
Grasping for straws.
But the thing is, you got to understand something, and you guys, it's like I'm talking to somebody that knows the game, and y'all know this. These players develop going forward. Who's to say they're going to develop into what we had is even better? You got to look at that too. Is a new system? And we still got the same old 5 stars. And honestly, y'all look at this too. Trust me. Tell me that y'all didn't have players who played in front of y'all and y'all knew they weren't better than you. They just had a name. There's a lot of that goes on all over the place. All over the place. So these guys are finally getting the opportunity.
My first year, I had Lawrence Taylor, and he definitely went better.
Oh, well, no, yeah, you won.
Politics.
You ain't even let you on the bus.
The guy who was in front of me.
I played. Don't trip. I started beside him the next 2 years. Actually,
right, and see, Marvin took the guy who played in front of him.
Yeah, he was an All-American, but he transferred that next year after I got there because he seen it right on the wall, so he got good.
And never to be heard from again, actually. So good job, Marvin.
Ran him on.
But real quick, Marvin Yazzie says, I'm still mad at Marvin for putting that dead fish in our vent at the Highlands.
Hey!
What?
Man, listen, I used to
listen.
torture my teammates, man. It was one June, during the off season, summertime, you bored. All you doing is working out and you going to summer school classes. I told y'all we used to go fishing at the Black Warrior River all the time. So I don't know what happened, but somehow one day we came back and I had a catfish. It had been about a 4 or 5 pound catfish. And those intake vents on the central air, I dropped it in their intake vent. Man, they were cleaning that apartment for about a month before somebody finally dimed me out and told them I dropped that fish in their vent. They was going through it, boy. That thing, it was reeking.
And Justin, that's the guy you hired to be on the Bama Standard with an outstanding citizen like me.
Well, sometimes God just uses people as messengers to bring forth the savior of the show, i.e. you.
Let's close the show out.
But hey, before we close things up, I want to remind everybody, come hang out with the Bama Standard at the Paul W. Bryant Museum.
Hold on.
And Mark can interrupt you then too.
Who is Dundeezy? Is that Dante Ellington? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who is telling this story? That's what I want to know now.
Nobody cares. We were talking about how important our live show is going to be at the back. Nobody cares about that guy. So tell him again.
If that's Dante Ellington, we need to get him on the show.
Dante Ellington sent. Yeah, he said yes. Send me
an email.
You
got to come on the show, baby. You got to come on the show.
Dante, send me an email. JustinRiley@thebamastandard.com. Let's get you on this show, brother. It's time to let the man do some talking. I love it. But anyway, as I was saying, the Paul W. Bryant Museum is hosting the Bama Standard at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on April the 12th for A-Day. We're going to be live doing our thing, getting y'all ready for every bit of what
I'm going to miss A-Day, man. I'm preaching on April the 12th at a men's function.
Hey, man. Hey, backslide that day. Come on out.
Yeah, come on out, bro. You got jump on set. You've missed the last 3 times.
TV, with Kalen DeBoer put on a pink coat.
What?
Nick Saban always wore his pink coat on A-Day. When Kalen DeBoer wears pink coat.
We were working that out.
Yeah.
Okay. No more interruptions.
Yes, come hang out. We got legends that are going to be there, and current players will be on the set with us. Maybe one day we'll get Pastor Payne to be on set. We've been there 3 times and he showed up to none. Anyway,
April the 12th. Let me see, man. April the 12th, man. Daggone.
But yeah, we'll be there. We'll be all about campus. So come see us.
Is Bo married yet? Bo Scarborough get married yet?
Oh yeah, folks. Bo Scarborough, as of Sunday, is engaged. So congratulations to Bo on finding that happiness, brother, that we all hope we can get. So, but this, before we close up shop, let's go around the room. Everybody pop what they got. We'll start with Marvin Constant. Talk to people about 40 plus, where they can find you on social media. Then we go down to Steve, and Corey will finish it out.
You can find me on Instagram, Constant45, same Twitter, Constant451. The Amazon link is on there. If you're looking for a great resource to get back in shape, your late 30s, 40s, 50s, 3 different workout programs, one for beginners, one for intermediate. Most people have been doing it for a while. So if you're trying to get the hammers back in your life, baby, it's a great resource. Nothing crazy. It's not anything that's going to have you hurting yourself, because I'm beat up. So just a great $15 resource. Amazon makes most of the money. So I just did it as a tool.
Them little fake BBs, man. Take that baby Gap shirt off.
I know, man.
Yeah. Corey, actually, that's CGI.
Y'all see it.
CGI. Right,
y'all see the hammers.
As far as me, if y'all can notice, that's back flap. I got that from page 7 of Marvin's book. Look, Friday and Saturday, I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at the City Rabbit Comedy Club. Friday is already sold out. Get your tickets, people. I'm telling you, both shows are going to sell out, so I'll be there. Follow me on Instagram, Comic Steve Brown, and on my fan page, Comedian Steve Brown fan page. And more importantly, I will be with my brothers at the Bryant Museum, April, when is April 12th?
April 12th.
Yes.
Make sure you put it on your calendar, because you look like you're going to forget. Put on your calendar.
And I just put it in my new calendar, as a matter of fact. Yeah, so I'm ready to go, man. Let's make it happen.
Steve, we need to put it in our rider. We need some Archibalds and Woodrows for that day.
Absolutely. And Steve Brown will be signing autographs outside the Moonwink. So y'all step out there before you come to the main show so you can meet Steve in person.
Yeah. Oh, also that day I have a class for people who like to cut people off in interviews. So Marvin will be in the class, and
I almost told you something.
see, there he is again.
Oh, God. Marvin's in the class.
I ain't think them little Frontier Airlines headphones would work that long. I figured that was about 30 minutes ago.
Hey, wait a minute, hold on. See, that's another Marvin content impersonation. There it is, guys.
Hey, Pastor of Pain, tell folks how they can find you again. If y'all missed at the beginning of the show, the Miller's Edge, fill these people in.
Yeah, man, check us out every day, especially in Tuscaloosa on the dial, Tide 100.9, 1230 AM WTBC. We're on 12 to 2 there. Of course, download a free app, Tide 100.9. You can listen to us wherever. I mean, you can go out the country, you can go wherever and listen to the show. We have a lot of fun like we do here when I come on the standard. So we don't take it too serious, but we have some fun, get some good information. And you can catch your boy every single Thursday. Stephen M. Smith comes on with us every single Thursday, man. And he breaks it down, bro. He's like the favorite. So check us out there and then hit me up on the X.
And also,
cause and controversy.
And we got to send a shout out to Stephen M. Smith. He is having a baby. So yeah, I just wanted to.
He ain't having no baby. His wife having a baby.
Yeah, I just wanted to start a rumor. That's all.
Steve to knock somebody up.
Hey, I called him and he was just.
We all talking about. I ain't had no baby.
No?
I ain't had no baby. No. I don't even do what you're supposed to do to have baby. I don't even know what you're supposed to do to have no baby.
Hey, Coach, I got to ask you one question before we get out of here, man. And the fans want to know. You lifted the remote. Please tell me that is not a VCR remote. Please tell, because you know y'all old school, brother. That better not be no VCR remote.
This is what we call.
He's taping it in the heat of the night, Steve.
You see the fireplace going back there.
That's a beta remote.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Wax on, wax off.
Okay, all right, okay, wow.
You know what I mean? You ain't got these in the hood. You know what I mean? You ain't got these in the hood, dog.
Okay. I just want to know because if you had a VCR remote, ooh boy, it would have been something.
Listen, man, all my highlights are still on VCR.
That's good, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep them that way because I love it. Then I'll transfer them over to DVD, and then I'll get it on into space at some point. You know what I mean? So I'm old school, bro. I'm old school.
My highlights in my phone. Let me show y'all this midget.
Yeah, look, and all his music is on 8-track.
Yeah.
Justin, get us out of here, man.
Oh my God! Praise the Lord, everybody.
Just a few program notes before we get out of here. I remind everybody, stay tuned for the final whistle tonight, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow night, C. Payne is back for Crimson Dynasty, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Then it's the nightcap with George and JTT. Teague's Take, 8:15 p.m. Central, 9.
I like that show, Teague's Take.
Yes, good stuff. Hey, and also basketball fans, our team is pretty good. So we're going to have Mark Gottfried coming up soon. So check that out. And as we found out tonight, Dante Ellington will be on here to talk to us more about how he was traumatized by the fish in the AC unit. But until then, stay right here. Roll Tide, everybody.
Roll Tide.
Get you one of these.
Great show. Great.